Hi everyone, I'm Mike Broda. I'm the Managing Director of TerraQuip Drilling Equipment. We've had the company for 8 years now, and last year we also started the TerraQuip Talk podcast. Now, this is the podcast where we're trying to give a voice to our industry. So if you want to participate, if you have something to talk about, please hit me up. Come right here in the studio. Let's have a chat about it, a discussion between professionals. Or if you have a topic that you want me to tackle, I love talking about this stuff, right? So please give us a like, send us a message, send us some good words, hopefully, and we can't wait to hear from you. Cheers. Hello everyone. We're back in the studio doing what we do best and what we love, and that is talking about drilling and ground engineering. I'm Mike Broda. I'm the Managing Director of TerraQuip Drilling Equipment, and since June last year, I can't believe it's been 1 year almost, I've also been the host of TerraQuip Talk. So this is the podcast where we talk about everything in our industry. We talk with experienced people that have a story to share, as well as technologies. We try to share the knowledge that we gather over the last 15 years. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to take a brief look at the world of mega infrastructures. So forget about your usual small piling projects and things like that. Today, we're actually talking about massive civil engineering foundations using the reverse circulation drilling system. That's the RCD. Now, I'm sure most of you would be like, what the hell, Mike? Like reverse circulation system? You probably think I'm crazy. That's fine. Why reverse circulation system? Well, first of all, because it's a very interesting technology, right? And secondly, because it's done by a company that we've been trying to represent here in Australia over the last probably 2-3 years. We started talking with them. And we just wanted to see, we wanted to see the way they conduct their business. We want to see their after sales support. We want to see just in general, how dealing with them is and what kind of products they have. And we actually brought a type of equipment from them, and that is the casing extractor. We brought the diameter for 1300 and 1500 millimeter diameter. I feel like in Australia, drilling with casing is not as popular as it is in Europe, for example, but it's definitely increasing in popularity. And the benefit of the casing extractor is basically the speed at which you can extract the casing out of the ground. Of course, the power behind them as well. But last but not least, the fact that you have the ability to continue to drill the pile while the casing extractor pulls out of the ground, of course, after the concreting has been done. So what we've done together with SAMHOON, we have built and delivered for one of our most reputable clients here in Australia. And what we're doing is we testing this equipment. We're making sure that we're going through every single spec, the quality, the way it's built, the after sales support for them as well. Because especially when you're working with top tier clients, you want to make sure that the quality level is not here, but like up here. Right? It's got to be the absolute best. And basically, this would allow us to make the final decision if this is a brand that we want to represent and take on board here in Australia. But enough about casing extractors for now, because we will have a whole episode to talk about this soon. In fact, I just want to mention that we have just finished the commissioning in Western Australia for the second casing extractor. This is the 1500 diameter one. And soon we will talk about all the experience that they had there, the feedback from the people on site and from our client, right? But now let's focus on this reverse circulation system. We're going to talk about why would you use it, what is it for, what sort of specs, what sort of tooling you need for it, what sort of the machinery. Now, there's environmental benefits, number one. There's incredibly large diameter that you can drill with them, up to 5 meters diameter, and incredibly deep in very, very tough conditions. So you can go like pretty much 200 meters deep piles, right? We're also going to talk a little bit about our partners. Who is this company and where is it coming from? Well, it's coming from Korea, and they are called SAMHOON. They're a manufacturing powerhouse with over 30 years experience in the construction machinery. And we'll break down their equipment specs, the cutting edge technology, and a recent real world case study of a massive 3-meter Seabridge foundation that they've done. Although SAMHOON name maybe not as popular here, especially here in Australia. They actually have a lot of experience in the manufacturing industry in terms of machinery. They are based out of South Korea, where they have their own factory and office and design department there. And over the decades, they have built a global network spanning through USA, Hong Kong, Russia, Brazil. And now we're trying to bring their products and their expertise here in the Aussie market. Now, the reverse circulation system for them, for SAMHOON, is what they're expert as. They have used it not only there at home in Korea, but also in Hong Kong and all throughout Asia. In fact, this is a technology that's used often in marine environments where they need to build these mega projects, basically. Now, what makes them stand apart is that they fabricate all their products using their own design and drawings. And that includes the hydraulics systems, the electrical systems, but also the control devices. And they have the ability to come up and help with the commissioning and the startup of the process, because there's just so many companies out there. They'll give you the product, they'll give you the machine, and you're pretty much on their own. But it's so important having that supplier that can send its engineers, they can send the people that actually have experience on site, not only in the office in front of the computer, to come and help you, right, and basically hold your hand. Because of their in-house capability, they can build custom brand new machinery tailored exactly to the customer's needs, to the project needs. Or they have the ability to bring used equipment from other, let's say, completed projects from around the world. So a lot of the times what we've done is, not that we have quoted too many of them, but when we quoted the SAMHOON products, sometimes we quote secondhand ones. They have just finished in, let's say, Indonesia, and we can bring it to, for your project in Australia or New Zealand or whatever. So where do we actually use this massive SAMHOON reverse circulation rigs? Their equipment is widely used for onshore drilling, offshore drilling, subsea drilling, and mining as well. Sometimes you need in mining those 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meter wide shafts that are very deep, like ventilation shafts, for example. A lot of the times they drill them with really big machines such as the Bauer BG45 or 55, which they're incredibly expensive. They're very good, but incredibly expensive machines, incredibly expensive to mobilize as well. So this could be a good application. They're also used for applications such as bridges, commercial buildings, sea terminal, jetties, dam rehabilitations, what have you, right? Anything to do with ground engineering, right? Now, with the push of renewable energy here in Australia, these rigs can also be perfectly suitable for offshore wind farms, which I think this wind farm is keeps on increasing, the need for wind farms and this green stuff, with green energy, basically. Hey guys, just a second. I just want to say this. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this episode, to listen to us every single week. It gives us immense pleasure to talk about our industry. We want to give a voice to our industry here. So if you enjoy this, if you find this interesting, please hit that like button, share with someone, subscribe. All of this helps us a lot. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Now let's get on with the episode. So let's break down how the system works, because it's a brilliant piece of engineering. So the RCD rig sits on top of a casing, and you've got your drill string, then a massive drill bit, and at the bottom, like a hammer, basically, right? That sits at the bottom of the drill string that has all the components that we're going to talk about it in a second, right? And then, of course, you have the power pack driving the hydraulics. But the real magic with this RCD is the actual fluid and air dynamics. You see, maintaining the correct water levels and compressed air is crucial. So if you don't have enough water inside the casing, you get unstable slime and cuttings recovery, right? So circulation becomes weak then, it breaks entirely, which causes blockages inside the drill pipe. This can lead to blocking the tool there, to jamming the tool, or complete equipment failures. Plus, without enough water, you get insufficient cooling for the drill bit, which leads to overheating, rapid wear, and of course, tool damage. Now, on the flip side, what happens if you pump too much compressed air into the system? Well, you get that slurry, splashing, and soil eruption. You don't want that. The high volume air increases the velocity of the return flow, making slurry shoot out from the drill pipe uncontrollably. It also causes air hammering and heavy vibrations inside the drill pipe or at the cutting face. As a general rule of thumb, you need about 1 bar of air pressure for every 10 meters of depth. Now, let's have a look at some actual models of SAMHOON that they offer, such as the PTD 200 it's called, the 250, the 300, and the biggest one is the PTD 350. The PTD 200 can handle a maximum casing diameter of up to 2,000 millimeters, so 2 meters. The 300, 3,000, you see what I'm getting with this, right? And then the 350 up to 3.5 meter casing diameter. Now, the massive power swivel torque is 484 kilonewton meters. So basically nearly 50 tons per meter of torque, which is a lot. But why would you use the SAMHOON's RCD method over the traditional hammering or piling, right? As we said earlier, drilling with such a big rig, like the BG45 or 55. Well, it's about minimizing the cracks. Unlike a hammer, an RCD drills and cuts the rock layer smoothly without cracking the surrounding formations. Cost savings, the RCD machine is simply just economical compared to a big, let's say 250-ton rig, which is expensive to move. It's really expensive to purchase as well, the initial cost to maintain and so on, right? But the RCD, they use highly durable quality roller cutters that work for a long time, minimizing the downtime. And they're actually eco-friendly as well, and which is a huge thing, especially if you're drilling in coastal areas and offshore projects. It has relatively low noise, meaning that it has very little impact on, let's say, the seaworld and marine environments. To power these rigs, you can use heavy-duty hydraulic power packs, like which again SAMHOON is building as well. We actually built one for Western Australia as well. But for this type of technology, of course, you need quite a large one. So the SHP 800, and this can develop almost 600 kilowatts power, or let's say 800 horsepower. Now, let's talk about the actual business end of these rigs, and that is the roller cutters. Getting this right could make or break a project. Like I said many times with drilling and piling, in general, the most important thing is the tool. Then secondly, in terms of importance, is the operator that you have sitting in the cabin. And then number 3 is the rig, right? There's no doubt about that. SAMHOON tailors the cutter selection based on the comprehensive strength of the rock that you're hitting. So if you're in softer, less abrasive rock like sandstone, let's say, or siltstone, that ranges from 30 to, let's say, 75, 80 MPa, you can use a tooth cutter. But when things get a little bit harder and you move into limestone, dolomites, or granites at 80 to up to, let's say, 200 MPa, we can switch to what's called a TCI button cutter. And for the really tough, highly abrasive stuff like quartz or anthracite that's pushing up to, let's say, 300 MPa, you can bring out basically the toughest thing for the toughest rock, which is the TCI disc cutters. And with SAMHOON's engineering, it allows you basically to configure the project, the tool, in such a way to make the cutters drain the slurry efficiently. And if you hit a sloped, let's say, soft layer offshore, their system feature what's called a counterbalance function that supports the full weight of the drill to maintain stability. You just reduce the speed, your speed, and minimize the thrust force until the surface is flat. Like with most of our suppliers, the way we price these projects and the way we send offers is we get from you, from the client, the specs of the project. We get the soil report, we get the specifications, we get the program, and then based on that, we actually propose custom build for that project. Marini does that. With IMT, we're doing that. And of course, SAMHOON, they're the same. This is one of the requirements we have as a drilling rig supplier in order to, let's say, better serve you and to make sure we don't just offer an off-the-shelf product. Now, we spoke about the theory. Let's look at a real life scenario and a real example, which was a case study from their home from South Korea for a Seabridge of an access road to a seaport. This project ran up until last year in August, September. And by the way, I've been to Korea when I went to visit them just a couple of months ago, and I actually saw this seaport project. It was unbelievable. They were dealing with ground conditions that range from soft clays right down to hard rock. So they utilize a massive 3-meter diameter SAMHOON RCD, which is reverse circulation system rig, powered by a 380 horsepower pack. The sequence was, I would say, a masterclass in foundation engineering. Firstly, they installed a casing jacket offshore and drove the casing into the ground. Then they used a hammer grab to displace the soil inside the casing. And once they hit the rock with the grab, they delivered the SAMHOON RCD rig via barge, installed it right on top of the casing, and then it went to work. They ran the RCD rig pretty much day and night to drill the rock socket. And after drilling, they delivered a complete massive 75-meter long rebar cage installed into the hole and executed a flawless Tremie pile concrete pour. And the result was a perfectly executed, solid deep foundation, completed efficiently and safely. Over the past 10 years or so, we have experienced a massive scale up in infrastructure, especially in the offshore wind and major product sectors. But not only in that, right? Everywhere in Australia. So the need for robust, reliable, and environmentally friendly rock socketing solutions is only going to grow. In fact, I would say over the last 15 years that I've been in drilling, it's easy to see how the size of the projects and the drilling specs in general are continuously growing. Back in 2010-11, it was unheard of a BG45 or a BG55, right? There were none in Australia. Now they're like 4 or 5 or 6. I've lost count, right? There's so many of them. This is why we're so excited to be partnering with SAMHOON to offer a different technology that's more cost-effective and diverse to what it's currently used, to offer an alternative, basically. From the initial project study and quotation, we're here to help you and to help you recommend the roller cutters, the types, the string types, the lengths. We're happy to help together with the Koreans, the commissioning, the operator training, and basically lifelong spare parts and services. We're basically with you for the lifetime of the project. And then because we're partnering with SAMHOON, which work all over the world, we can also offer potential buybacks. We can help you sell the project after, sell the rig, the equipment after you finish the project. SAMHOON's motto is basically deep foundation, solid future. I like how it sounds. So if you want to build a solid future for your next major infrastructure project, get in touch with us. We have the technical documents, the case study, and the direct line to SAMHOON's engineering team. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This was just a quick, brief sort of overlook at SAMHOON, what they offer, and especially at the reverse circulation system. They offer multiple technology. You can check out on our website, or you can hit us up if you have any sort of interesting projects or outside the box ideas that you can apply to your drilling requirements. Please let us know. We're here to help. I'll see you next time. And remember, if it's not turning, you're not earning. Hey, thank you again for watching this episode. I hope you found this interesting. Now, if you guys are someone that have an interesting topic to talk about, or an interesting application, or an interesting technology or piece of equipment, and you want to share with us here with the audience at TerraCrypt Talk, please hit me up. I'll be more than happy to hear from you. I'm always open to hearing new ideas about technologies, about how we can make things safer, first of all, in our industry, more efficient, and just better overall. So if you have an idea, please hit me up. Send me a message. You know where to find us.